Good afternoon, you are listening to The Social on TalkSport 2 with myself, Adi Oladipo, alongside broadcaster and Chelsea fan Rory Jennings. Let's get straight into it, Mr. Jennings. Let's talk about your club, Chelsea. In the dirt, in the mud. 14th in the Premier League, having played Luton, Bournemouth and Forest, and West Ham without their talisman. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace.
I agree. I think if you look at what's happened, certainly lately, I think that we are all over the place. There's no semblance of identity. There's no real desperation within the team to win. We can't score any goals. You know, we just can't score. We've played Nottingham Forest at home and we've gone away to Bournemouth. I think in terms of fixtures where you were most likely to accrue the 3 points, fixtures that are incredibly kind to you, where as a fan, you believe that your team are entitled to the 3 points. I think Nottingham Forest at home,
yeah.
I think there's something in that.
Yeah.
When Nottingham Forest travel away, their fans, they have a very devoted fan base for us, but their fans are going away hoping for a win, expecting a defeat.
They couldn't buy 3 points last season. Couldn't buy 3 points.
No,
yeah.
Their away record is about as pitiful as it gets. So when you welcome Nottingham Forest to your stadium, 3 points are firmly on the agenda. I'll tell you what's definitely not on the agenda. Elanga running the show and them taking the 3 points. That's definitely not on the agenda. Joe Worrell, like man of the match undoubtedly. He was sensational that day. And it's, in fact, I said how well Joe Worrell played, and there's definitely a truth in that. But Chelsea are so profligate. We are so wasteful. We cannot score goals, and it's a real problem. And when you think about the way that the club's been run, when you think about the amount of money that we've spent, how on earth is it even possible to spend £1 billion and only have Nicholas Jackson as a goal-scoring option? Like, you know, last season, Addy, Chelsea scored 38 goals all season. That's averaging a goal a game. We're on course for that now. Bearing in mind, let me add to this because this is really important. We're on 38 goals in the entire season last year. 38. This year, 5 in 5 games. 3 of them against Luton at home, who are on course to be the worst Premier League team ever.
It's bad. I look at your starting 11, and this is why I've got really small violins for you as you start to moan about your side. Now, Jackson up front, I mean, you were telling me in pre-season this guy was going to do the business. Mudryk, I want to say Mudryk, it cost a lot of money, but he did. Mudryk, Enzo Fernandez, Raheem Sterling, Conor Gallagher's there, Levi Colwill, Thiago Silva. It's not the worst 11 I've ever seen.
What's the point here? That Pochettino should be getting more out of this team? Yeah, I think there's a truth in that though. I can't challenge that. I don't disagree at all. I think that when we talk about what's going wrong at Chelsea, on a Monday or a Tuesday, we can certainly talk about Todd Boehly, his contribution, his lack of insight, his lack of knowledge, his ridiculous approach to owning Chelsea. Clearlake are responsible for this on a Monday or a Tuesday. But, you know, in the aftermath of a game or during a game, no, it's a Pochettino issue, It's a Pochettino issue. I haven't seen anything in Pochettino to suggest that he is the right man.
No new manager bounce, is there? No, like, okay, I can see what Pochettino...
Less than
like, you can always... Yeah, it's almost gone backwards, isn't it? You know, like normally when new managers come in, even if they get it wrong, I can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, when they try and play out from the back and the goalkeeper gets it wrong, I can see they're trying to do something. I look at this side that Poch has put together, and it's obviously been 5 games and 5 completely different lineups every game, by the way.
Ben Chilwell playing as a winger, which he obviously isn't, when you've got Mykhailo Mudryk in the team. I think that's...
Would you make a Ben Chilwell going away to your away fans and getting booed as
he didn't. He didn't. It's one of those internet things. It's one of those internet things. Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't
get booed.
Okay.
People were booing the performance, and there was one clip where there was an overlap of the booing of the performance was going on, and simultaneously Chilwell came over. Chilwell was very popular. I had a lot of mates down there. There's a lot on Twitter to say this is nonsense. One person put it up. To talk about Pochettino is interesting, though. I think Pochettino's making mistakes, but just play devil's advocate. Chelsea in the league, we've had the 4th amount of shots in the league. In terms of the teams that have had shots on goal, we're 4th. We can't score goals. Is that Pochettino's fault, or is that wasteful finishing from the likes of Nicholas Jackson?
Both. I think both have to be responsible. Pochettino bought Jackson in. And was it a Pochettino buy or was it a club buy? Maybe a bit of both.
Think about that clumsy moment, though. Think about that clumsy moment where... Have you seen the clip?
I have.
Where Nicholas Jackson gets put in. I think Leslie puts him in and ultimately sort of left foots it.
What is that? It's that. You know what's bad about that is that when you looked at his goal scoring record in his previous club, that kind of rings true now. And he had that little bit where he went hot, and you bought him based off that.
Yeah.
But no one talks about the time when he was really cold.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing now on the weekend. He's just not good enough.
I think there's...
He's not good enough, is he?
I haven't seen anything yet to suggest that he is, but I would also say I've only seen him on 5 Premier League occasions, and therefore it's early.
But know, Jennings, we've watched football since we were kids. You just know.
What he doesn't
someone's
have,
first touch, you can just tell. Someone's turn, you can just tell.
I do try when we have these conversations, as painful as I find them. I do try and be as honest as possible. And yeah, you're right. What he doesn't have so far is that rawness that maybe Didier Drogba had when he arrived, or Sergio Aguero had.
Agreed.
So when Sergio Aguero arrived, he'd make some bad decisions. When Didier Drogba arrived, his touch would be off. But you could see that there was a real player in there. So far, a lot of the former things that I said there about Nicholas Jackson are true. Bad decisions, touch off. The rawness and the quality I have yet to see. But I'm not quite ready to say that it doesn't exist.
My worry is, obviously, until the January transfer, I say worry, I don't really care, but for you anyway, the worry for Chelsea fans is you don't really have anything until Nkunku comes back.
Yeah, which is going to be next year.
Is he going to deliver?
I think Nkunku is definitely
he's a
better
player. Yeah, he's a better goal scorer.
No, but he's definitely
Jackson,
a player. You know, there's jeopardy around Mikhailo Mudryk when he arrived because we hadn't really seen him do it. I think Nkunku isn't that. Like Nkunku would have started for France if he didn't get the injury that he's now got again.
Agreed.
You know, he's a level above that. I think if you are virtually a guaranteed starter for the French national side, you're proper, aren't you? You're you are a proper player.
No, yeah, you should. Yeah, this isn't.
This isn't scoring goals for Shakhtar. No. This is like
you're a good footballer.
Yeah. So I think Nkunku will solve a lot, but we've got a long wait till then. And the thing that I'm really worried about, mate.
What's going on with Caicedo?
Caicedo was just in. I know how McAllister came back and he was just in Ecuador.
Yeah.
But the thing that really troubles me, if you look at the fixture list now, we've got a couple of winnable games coming up. When I say winnable, I mean winnable on paper. Not as winnable as Forest at home and Bournemouth away.
Yeah.
Like Bournemouth away is the easiest place to get 3 points in the Premier League, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah.
I mean, it's the smallest ground in the Premier League. Even
you
smaller
should
than
go
Luton.
there and beat them.
You should go there and win.
Yeah.
It's not intimidating. It's
No.
You know, it's a winnable place. So we didn't win. So when I say we've got winnable fixtures coming up and we've got the likes of Villa and Fulham, it doesn't feel.
Wait, so those are the winnable fixtures you're referring to?
Particularly if you compare to what comes next.
Is that what your Villa's a winnable fixture?
Addy, if you look at our fixtures, I promise you, I have to call Villa and Fulham winnable because if you look at what comes after that, there's no wins. After that comes London derby after London derby.
Yeah, you trouble there after that.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you got Arsenal. Yeah, you got Brentford, which you got. You got Spurs.
Yeah,
you got City.
Yeah,
you got Newcastle.
That's what I'm saying.
Brighton. United.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Do you see why suddenly Fulham becomes winnable? Because Fulham has to become winnable. Because if we don't beat Fulham and Villa, I don't know if we're going to win until like late October.
I can't believe late October. Mate, I can't believe that you're not going to win a game until December. That is horrendous.
That's bad, isn't it?
Back to back, honestly, back to back. Arsenal, Brentford, Spurs, City, Newcastle, Brighton, Manchester United, back to back.
Well, I don't feel like there's a victory as things stand.
That's horrendous.
Yeah, the most winnable fixture after Fulham is Manchester United in 6 weeks' time.
Wow. All right, look, anyway, enough of you. Let's hear from your manager, Mauricio Pochettino, who said after the game they're doing their best with the hand they've been dealt.
I think the fans know. If you invest the money that the people create in the media, okay, yes, it's true. But this is the expectation. If you don't win, it's normal the fans are not happy. But the circumstance, what I can tell the fans is the circumstance that we cannot change. The reality we cannot change. We have too many players, and we are a team that we will be strong if we are all together. Even Manchester City, Arsenal, and company, all the teams, with a normal circumstance, with all the squad fit, of course, can compete for everything. But why is different for us? Why is different? It's because we don't have all the squad available from the beginning of the season. What we can do? For me, nothing to say. The fan can do whatever they want. We know what we need to do. We are strong in our belief. Bad luck, because we have 12 injured, and today, yes, plus Cucurella that you asked me, or Noni, or Caicedo, yes. And then we have 3-4 young guys to keep it on the bench. I'm going to cry. I'm going to complain. Again, who? I need to accept this, the challenge, and keep being positive. And of course, Bournemouth is a good team. It's going to compete. Every team is going to compete, and it's going to be difficult. But fair or not fair, that is a circumstance that we need to accept, and we need to be positive, patient. We are not going to change in the way that we are going to do the thing. And then we have our opinion, our reality, and if we assess the team under our opinion, our reality, with all the circumstances, I think we are doing very, very, very good things, more than the people can expect.
I don't think the fans are going to accept that. Mauricio Pochettino there speaking to the media after the game. I don't think fans are going to accept that, injuries. Every club's got injuries. They'll look at like I did, they'll look at the starting 11 and think there's enough in there to beat your Forest, to beat your Bournemouth, to beat your West Ham.
You're right. I think we always have to factor it into a degree. Like Chelsea have 12 players out, like 12 players that are capable of starting. It's not peripheral players that are out. It's potential starters. Like Benoit Badiashile would have probably started, and Nkunku would have probably started. So there are explanations. They're not necessarily excuses. I think that the team that he had available should be beating Bournemouth. I think the team that he had available should undoubtedly have been beating Nottingham Forest. The players that are on the pitch aren't doing themselves any sort of justice at all. I mean, Enzo Fernandez, well over 100 million quid. The talent is there. We know he's a very good player. Totally anonymous. Like, it's unacceptable how anonymous he was. It's unacceptable how little he seemed to care. Conor Gallagher, he was forever on the front foot. He was keen. He had the captain's armband on. But Half made some bad decisions. It feels unjustified of me, actually, to factor this in, because he was one of Chelsea's best players, but it still wasn't good enough from him. But then Pochettino's got it wrong. If ever there's a game for Cole Palmer to start, surely that's it.
That's the game.
Isn't that it?
Yeah, that is the game. That's the game. That's the game.
Did you see our bench, by the way?
Go on.
Did you see Chelsea's bench?
Bad or good?
I'd never heard of 5 players on the bench. Do you know who Ronnie Stutter is?
How have you spent £1 billion in 2 transfer windows and you have no depth?
That question that you've asked, I'm actually going to just position it as a rhetorical question. I don't need to answer that.
No, you don't need
the reason that we are in this mess is because we've spent over £1 billion and Ronnie Stutter is on our bench. Why has that happened? Because we have Todd Bowley, who put himself as sporting director, a man who's never worked in European football before, and again we proved that the buck stops with Clearlake.
14th in the league right now. Last season you finished 12th. Do you finish higher than 12th this season?
Yes, we'll finish higher than 12th. Not much higher, but we will finish higher.
9th.
Top half.
10th.
We'll break into the top half, mate.
Wait,
it's like 1993 all over again.
Wow. Jesus.
Ian Porterfield's Blue and White Army.
Incredible.
On AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.